And I would go to something very simple as to how do we utilize community level volunteers for case detection, advocacy, linkage, and prevention of glaucoma blindness. It's a very important matter. So about myself, well, all I would say, for me, more important than me is the mission that I've undertaken, that this 95-year-old hospital, I'm working on bringing it back to its old glory. And as most of you will know, this was the first structured eye care hospital which had everything from medical education to huge community outreach, super specialties, and it was the largest hospital of the Asia. But things happened, but now where we stand now, we have all the subspecialties. We have medical education, that we have 15 MS seats. We have paramedical, 40 B optomes every year. We have ophthalmic assistants. We have a very robust community service with vision centers, outreach, and branches. And we do 70% of people free and 30% patients are paid. So with that, I'll start my actual talk. Who's this last human about whom we are worried about glaucoma? So this last human is everywhere. Actually, if you look at it, we are living in a country with a population of 70% people living in rural areas. And the last man is the man who's living in villages. The last man is the person who's living in mountain, who lives in forests, jungles. And last man is that soldier also who's guarding our borders. None of these people have really standard health service. Not only that they need service, they also need a linkage as to how to reach when they have a problem. And today we shall discuss as to how to encompass, and therefore all the talks are designed in such a manner that all these talks will slowly cover the subjects. And back in people, I have put my two talks together. So this time probably will change a little bit because the last talk I'm not doing, I want to give my time to the my co-people because they may have a little more than me to tell. So the barrier is not only service, actually, the lack of awareness amongst these people is a major challenge. And more than that, they have no information about eye care facilities. They are very scared people, emotionally very disturbed kind of people, and they come from poor homes. They have a fear of going to hospital. They're really scared of going to hospital. They don't want to go. And most of all, the eye is considered a paired organ in the whole body. So eye care is almost the last that takes precedence in their order of merit. So coming to, if you look at this picture, this is the picture the first day NPCB was signed, and the person in the corner is Dr. MP Mere. It was his advocacy that worked on Indira Gandhi. The team that you see is the team that conceived and made everything happen. But minus Dr. MP Mere, nothing would have happened, because not only that he gave a working platform, and he convinced the policymakers that this program is required since 1973. And goal of this program was to bring down the blindness by 0.3%. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. 2020 is gone and we are living in 2021. So why it didn't happen? Because there was no strategy truly, and there were no systems. And more than that, glaucoma was considered a second-grade disease. The focus was on cataract, and more cataract. And one of our members is sitting here who is in glaucoma task force, that is Sunita Dubey. So what happened is now in 12th plan, they have extended this to specific goals and specific goals that they will cover these 4 diseases, that is glaucoma, what is that called? Glaucoma, childhood blindness, and diabetic retinopathy. But still the plan of action, strategies, and advocacy on this available. So what is this community health worker about whom I'm going to be talking about? Well, these are the people from the same community. These members are trained in a manner that they know basic things about the disease, and they can help the people to seek the healthcare services wherever they are available. Therefore, these people will make a very important part, and also they will make a very important link between the community and the health setup. So now we have to look at their role, their training, and their responsibilities. So they create connection between vulnerable population and healthcare providers. They help patients navigate with healthcare and social systems. They manage care, the transition of vulnerable population from hospital to their homes. They reduce social isolation amongst the patients, and that increases the high trust acceptance of these people. So they have a little educated background, but they're not fully this thing. So they're trained, they are taught communication skills, and they are also taught how to do advocacy. And finally, they have to be facilitators and motivational people for the advocacy. Advocacy here at this level means the people should be willing to seek the healthcare. So now services provided, they will provide advocacy, or they are providing actually are trained people, outreach and VC Connect, eye education, eye care services, and social and emotional support. So what is this ASHA? Before coming to Sitapur, I had no idea what ASHA meant was truly. But after coming here, I realized these are actually accredited people by the country through the National Health Mission, and they complete the continuum of the things. So we, but in NPCV, when the program was made, the eye care came in the blind spot, and so came the glaucoma care automatically. So we picked up 5,452 of these ASHA workers from 8 districts. And with the help of Site Savers funding, we trained all these people into eye care things, including the glaucoma care. And we made a very simple design booklet. So their training was glaucoma is an optic nerve disease. Vision is lost, cannot be regained. Detected early, can be saved, and is asymptomatic disease. Above 40, everybody needs a screening. Then this is their training module. This is all picture based and very few things. Very simple pictures so that they make the people understand, they understand themselves. They were taught about the risk factors of open angle glaucoma, angle closure glaucomas, and you'll be surprised that the factors which have been listed are known to them because they are part of the same community in which they are serving. So in villages, the way of living is community living, and everybody knows almost everything about each other. So the training basically was looking at the children pictures, that if a child has got big eyes, epiphora, above 40 years of people, and we gave them e-charts, so they will record vision with the e-charts and connect these people to vision centers or base hospital, wherever it's easy for them to connect. Counseling and advocacy is a very, very important part of the training, and we need it in glaucoma for more than anything else. They work as a counselor in the village. So they get them seen here, then they know about the medications, they teach them how to put the drops, they remind them that the drops are over, you have to buy them, and they help them buy the drops or the treatment, whatever doctor advises, they help them reach the place and get the treatment done. But why should they do it? Unfortunately, there is no money built in the program for their honorarium. So we have been working hard, and now Dr. Pramila Gupta has built 1,000 rupees a month for NICDs. There are other health workers also. But they work on the same platform on which these people are working. They are Anganwadis, community level volunteers. Now coming down to advocacy. Advocacy is an act of pleading to support, actually to gain a support and a political commitment. And this is very much required. Without that, we can't really reach anywhere. So early detection of cases is the most important part of glaucoma. And suppose we have a simple goal like 30% increase in the detection by 2027. Now here the primary audience will be policymakers. So the people who are in AIMS, who are in GNAC can walk up to the policymakers and get them into the fold. And then we can create awareness programs at different multiple levels. But they have to allow the program's facilitation. So to create a program, we have to have a situation, we have to have a goal, we have to have the target audience, we have to have key messages, we have to implement, and we have to monitor. So defining is what is the current need, what is the gap, how are we going to fill this gap, from what skills, from what resources, what infrastructure. Then comes establishing a goal and objectives. So it should be SMART, that is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. The code word is that it should be ambitious, but it should be realistic and achievable. Otherwise, you are demoralized. And primary audience, as I already said, the people in state and national capital have to work on the policymakers. Secondary audience could be the people for which we have all these awareness programs like Glaucoma Week, etc. But this Glaucoma Week should not be in the week. The program like this should last the whole year. Then developing key messages for the people who are primary audience, for the policymakers, something as simple as glaucoma is asymptomatic disease in which blindness can be saved by early detection and prevention of progression. Now, this message goes to the same policymakers through a number of channels, from a non-government channel, from a government channel, from multiple sources, then they are more likely to believe and support the cause. Then powerful public messages. It should be based on a belief. They all believe that glaucoma is an attack. We got to tell them, look, it's not an attack, but it's actually a asymptomatic disease. It will make you blind. And therefore, you got to take the incentive yourself. And then all those who don't have glaucoma can make other people aware about it. Your family members are more affected. So these kind of things. Then media utilization, we are doing on a big way, but I think we need to do it a little more often. We can use celebrity for the media, but what really works is these personal meetings and official letters at the number one, at the policy level, at the general public level. What really works are the celebrities, heroes, but at the ground root level, what really works is what we do. That means the people whom they trust, when they speak about it, it works. Like a simple thing out of the OPD, a doctor who's a glaucoma doctor walks out, or the optometrist goes and just tells the people outside waiting, like, this is what it is and this is what you need to do. Believe me, that has a far more impact than any kind of awareness programs where we spend loads and loads of money. So mass coverage is very important, and we have to catch them from outreach to vision centers, to hospitals, to market, bus stands, railway, fairs, beaches, resorts. And don't laugh at beaches and resort. Many people who are very educated but are very uneducated about their health. And finally, the offices of policymakers. This monitoring has to be effective. And what we will get is, what are the number of cases that we are getting? That will tell us that whether our technique of doing it is correct. Are we reaching the right people? And are we communicating them the right way? Resource mobilization is very important. We all know we don't have universal health cover. And we also know that everything is thrown on the shoulders of NGOs. But the bottom line is the time has come that we have to get more involvement from CSRs and a lot more from the government. So the linkage is very important now. So we have to have a fiscal linkage. Fiscal means all the money related linkage. Then we need a spatial linkage, that is critical infrastructure. How do we develop it? We need a backward linking, because if we don't have that, how are we going to supply whatever we are creating? We need a forward linkage. How do we make the best use of what we have? And finally, a knowledge linkage. Sector skill development technology has got so much, which we are going to have in this presentation itself by Dr. Medha, as to how do we make a best use of. So once we do all that, then points to ponder only remain. Need for separate glaucoma detection and treatment strategy. We need involvement of all, from policymakers to the last man in the treatment. We need utilization of multi-level approach from CLVs, VCs, outreach, secondary, tertiary, which we'll cover in this program, and funding from government, non-government, CSRs, everybody. And let's not leave this hall without realizing glaucoma blindness is irreversible. It is found in 2% of people above the age of 40. 98% of patients do not know that they have it. And in our country, we have 12 million suffering from glaucoma, and about 1.5 million people are blind. So the need is to act now. With that, I will say thank you.